All right, and we're
Hi.
live. So,
Yes.
woo! Welcome to another Magic Place Q&A. I'll be your host again, Alex Borton. Sorry for being slightly underdressed. I just came from work. Today's guest and lecturer is the fabulous, admin, Kyle Peron. Woo!
Woo!
Look at him.
All right.
Ready?
First thing I want to do is before I begin is I want to thank Alex and Laura for giving me the chance to be able to do this. I think that's a really cool thing to be able to share with you guys some information in regard to marketing and branding, tips and techniques that really are real-world tips and techniques. These are all things that I have done and tried that have made a world of difference for me and for my business and can do for you as well. They also don't cost you a small fortune either. One thing I will say is, so why am I doing this? Well, I'm doing this for two reasons mainly. One is that I want to give back to the Believe in Magic place people, you guys, because you guys are awesome. And so I want to give you guys something I know about. This is my career. I'm a graphic designer. It's what I do for a living. I actually am a senior graphic designer for one of the largest CRM marketing agencies in the world. I've been there for 13 years. I'm also the CEO and owner of Peron Design, basically my own freelance design company. And I specialize in basically marketing and design for entertainers and for businesses. So that's one reason I want to give back to you guys information I know. I think it's always important to give back to magic what magic has given to me. The other thing that's important for you guys to know is there's another reason for doing this, and if I get emotional, I apologize in advance. Believe it or not, I am deaf. I am a deaf magician. I am proud to say that I am a deaf magician. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Alex knows a little signing there. I said, I signed very bad. Long story short is I lost my hearing when I was 8 years old. I've been lip reading ever since I was 8. I've been bullied, picked on, ridiculed, tormented, you name it, it's happened to me. That is not for you to feel sorry for me, but that is for me to realize that I was told many times by many people, not because they were trying to be mean to me, but simply because they thought that and said to me that I would not be able to do magic. How can you do magic if you can't listen to music? If you can't hear your music, how can you do magic if you can't talk to people? All right, the other thing, so what is my coming down to is this. The other second reason why I'm doing this is simply because, as far as I know, there has never been a deaf person, magician, to ever do a podcast that I'm doing right now. So why am I doing this? I'm doing it for a second reason, to prove to myself and to prove to you guys that I can do this. So if you see me stumbling or looking at my pages, that will be this. This is what I call my little closed caption sheets. You might see me looking at that. It's simply because I'm going to do the best I can with what I have. Last time I noticed, a monitor does not have lips, so I can't read it. The sound stuff in there is also something. I can't hear sound, I feel sound, so I really do thank Alex for working with me to try to figure that out. So that's what we're going to do. So what are we going to do tonight? We're going to have an awful lot of fun teaching you basically tips and techniques for branding and marketing that are real-world tips and techniques that are going to be very easy for you to do and very easy for you guys to implement. You do not have to spend a ton of money to do effective marketing. You don't. And I'm going to try to prove that tonight. So let's get started with a couple things in there. One thing a lot of people say is, well, let me ask this since, Alex, you're on there, and I'll ask you a question if I can. You do magic, correct? Yes?
Yes.
Yes, you do. So therefore, you would say that you are a magician, correct?
Sure.
Okay, yeah, this is waiting to go to them and going, hey, this is a trick question, because it is. Yes, you are a magician, but wrong to an extent. Let me explain. When you are marketing, the single most important thing that you need to remember is that, yes, you are a magician, but more importantly, you got to put yourself into the role of the consumer. It's very important. People don't do that because they think, okay, if I'm going out there and I need a dishwasher, I'm going to look for marketed brands. I'm going to look for something that works for me. Okay, I'm going to do all that stuff. When they come to magic, the only thing they forget is they forget that, hey, you're still a service provider. So that's essentially what you are. You are providing a service to the people, to your clients, and to the markets that you're working for. So the big thing I want to get you guys to understand is to put yourself into the place of the consumer. Understand that you are a service provider. You are providing a service to them, okay, for the markets that you are working on. With that in mind, there's a big term, and if you want to take notes, please, by all means, do. This, I believe, is going to be recorded as well, so if you want to go back later, I believe it's on YouTube, you will be able to go back to this as well. So that's really cool. So very hands-off applause for Alex and the team for that stuff. Yes, good. Yes, we just edit all the edit stuff out, all the stuff that doesn't work. We'll just edit that, like the hair, the laptop. We put that on. There's a term that's really actually kind of cool that really sums up everything, and it's extremely important if you're getting into marketing. And that simply is that you're not so much a magician as you are a solutions provider. Let me say it again, a solutions provider. What does that simply mean? That means this. You're there to essentially provide a solution for the client that you're performing for or the client that you're working with. Okay? If that is the case, you need to put in yourself in your mindset when you're working on things in there to understand that your marketing material, whether it's a business card, whether it's a letterhead, whether it's something you're handing out, whether it's a postcard, it does not matter. You need to realize that you're providing a solution for someone else. Okay? One of the things for that means is simply this. Whatever market that you're marketing for, you need to realize that the person you're marketing for has a need. Everybody has a need. Why does a consumer buy anything? They buy something because, hey, I got a need for a dishwasher because my dishwasher broke down. Okay? I have a need in my festival, not just for a magician for fun, but I have a need for different things. For example, I might need in a festival market, I need somebody, hey, that is completely self-contained. I might need for someone that has an illusion. I might need a person that can do different shows lengths of, say, 30 minutes or 60 minutes. And it goes on and on. So every single person has a need for that. The problem that most people do is they do this. They go, oh, yeah, I do magic shows, and they're really cool and they're fun, and hire me. Well, that's all great and dandy, but it's not going to give you the power of effective marketing as marketing really can. If you put yourself into the consumer's role, you will do much better for yourself. You need to, whenever you're starting to market yourself and you go into a market, make sure that you start to do your research, okay? And how you do that is simple enough. Whatever market that you're doing, whatever market you're currently doing now, is ask your person and ask people that you trust that are in that market, what are their concerns, what are their needs, what are their problems. What you'll end up doing is realizing is you spend less time talking when you're marketing and more time listening. Okay, the more that you listen to the person, the more information that you are going to get. That is a key because they will give you information if you simply ask for it. The power of asking is a huge marketing thing. Ask. If you give you information, you can use that in your marketing thing, because what's the cool thing for me is this. It's an example. Would you rather hire someone that sits there and just says, I'm a magician and I do festivals? Okay. Or would you rather hire a magician that says, I'm a magician who offers different diversified shows for your group. I can do a 30-minute show. I can do a 60-minute show. I also can do strolling magic in between the shows that announces what you guys want to do in the other events that are taking place at your festival. I can do that for you. I comes completely self-contained. You don't have to worry about anything for me. I bring my own sound system in there, so you don't have to worry about that. And it goes on. You get the idea. One is basically putting you and saying you're a magician, okay? You're a magician between, regardless of whether you're marketing to anything, lay people and clients, think of it as magician A, B, C, D, E. That's what they say, okay? You're no different than anybody else. How do you differentiate yourself from somebody else is simply the fact that you can sit there and say to yourself, I know what your problems are, and I'm going to solve them for you. That's got power. I can't tell you how many people sit there will go, hey, this guy understands me, okay, he understands what I'm doing, understands the problems I have, and not only understands them, is giving me a solution for it already. Man, that's super power to that. And they then, when you do that, your perception, your perceived value in their mind before they ever even meet you goes up sky high. All of a sudden now that you're looked upon from that perspective higher than your competitors. That gives you the edge, that gives you the advantage. So just something to think about there. I want to go back, if I can. I'm going to switch for a second because there was a couple questions that a couple people asked, and there was actually some really good ones. Someone asked me, and I believe it was, let me see here, James Schneider. James, I think, asked a really great question. And he asked stuff in there as, how did I get started in graphic design? Good question. I'll link that with not only how I got started in graphic design, but how you can find a graphic designer and how you know you're working with a good one. Because there's a lot of them out there, and there's a lot of people that do. You need to use a graphic designer. That's just my personal opinion. Hey, because I am one. But there's a lot of people that are confused with working with graphic designers. How do you work with them? What is good? What is bad? What is not? So that's what we're going to do. Anyway, my story is simply this. As a kid that was growing up deaf, I didn't have a whole lot of friends. Not a sob story, but it is the truth. So I did everything that I could do to make myself different than everybody else. I did not want to be looked upon as the deaf kid. I wanted to be looked upon as the kid that knew how to do art, as a graphic design kid, as a magic kid, as a drummer kid, and the list goes on and on. I probably got more hobbies than most people, simply because I didn't want them seeing me as a deaf person. So anyway, with how I became a graphic designer is simple this. I don't remember a time when I wasn't doing art. I was always doing art. My parents said that they would find me when I was 3 years old and 4-year-olds sitting with paper, just loads of paper in the middle of the family room, and I was just drawing stuff. And I don't even remember doing it. For me, it was not until I was in 5th grade that I realized I even had any art talent at all, because for me, it was the process of doing something that was empowering for me. I would create it, and I would put it aside, and then I would come up and create something else. That's kind of interesting to say, and the reason why I bring that up is because I think most magicians fall into that same realm. It's that creation thing. We love to create stuff, and we love to then perform our creations. It's the same thing for art. So I knew that I did art throughout school. I knew when I was in high school that I needed to do something. I wanted to do something with art. My art teacher basically said, hey, there's this thing called graphic design. I said, hey, what's that? Am I going to starve? I said, no, you won't starve. Graphic design is a really good industry to get into. And so what I did is I went to Temple University. I went for 5 years. Yes, I'm stupid. It was a really tough 5 years of my life. But the reason why I did is I wanted to go for a double degree. I have a degree from Temple University, Tyler School of Art, one in graphic design, another one in illustration. That's how I got started in it. I then showed up, which is kind of a funny story. I showed up right out of school the very first week after I graduated. They had an internship of U.S. Healthcare that became Aetna. I then walked in there with my portfolio, and that's the first time I'm wearing a suit. I'm sitting there going, hey, man, I look pretty suave. I sit down, and next thing I know, here's someone else that comes in from my own school that I graduated with, and she sits down right next to me. Within 10 minutes, there was 6 of us from the same exact graduating class, from the same school, sitting together. So we're all kind of like, yeah, we're friendly, thank you, and I hope you lose. That is. It's the case. So I was with U.S. Healthcare for 8.5 years. I then came over to Merkle Incorporated. Merkle Incorporated is, as I said, one of the largest CRM marketing agencies in the world. CRM stands for, which is something really cool, it stands for customer relationship marketing. It's a new thing, it's a big thing, and what it really stands for is the understanding of marketing to the consumer and in the consumer relationship. It's between you and the person that you're marketing to. It's a really big thing. So that's what I did. Switching gears a little bit to finish up his question. I then also formed my own graphic design company. It's called Peron Design. I also have a Facebook page for that. For those that want to check it out anytime they want. Yeah, exactly. Ooh. It's basically at www.facebook.com/Peron Design. That's Peron. You can go there. You can check out samples. Anything you want on there. I do a lot of different things. I'm the CEO, owner of that. And like I said, I specialize in entertainers mainly. I also do a lot of different business work for businesses and small businesses. So that's kind of the story about me and doing design. The other question he asked, which I thought was really cool, is, okay, if you're going to use a designer, and you should, how do you use one? How do you pick one, okay? first thing, and this is just me, it's a pet peeve, and anyone who's a designer will tell you the same thing, okay? I'm just going to say it. Please don't use Fiverr. Oh, please, please, okay? A grown man, I will beg you, don't use Fiverr, okay? Now you're all scared.
Fiverr is
What's that?
for those who don't know,
Fiverr is.
Fiverr is a online kind of trading place where you can trade your services for other people's services. Other people don't know that. So like for $5 you can trade for like a piece of graphic design or a foot rub or something. So they have all sorts of things like that. But
Absolutely.
That's what that's
Absolutely. And I'm kidding. I'm joking around about that, but I am serious in a way, because what ends up happening is, sorry, but you know, anyone who's sitting there trying to do a design for you for $5, there's just something fishy about that. Because if you're working with a graphic designer, it just is. I mean, if you're going to do something effective, you need to find a designer, and you need to find a designer that understands and speaks your language. That's very important, okay? If you're finding a designer should do several things for you. One of the things the designer does not is a designer does not make things look pretty, okay? You see the little quote marks here, pretty. Now, that's what a lot of people think we do. Even clients that come to my day job, can you design this? Can you make this look good? Well, sure, I can make it look good. The real role of the designer, a graphic designer, is, and if you hear them say that, you know they're on the right track. You know you're working with someone that is a good designer. My role as a designer, if I had to choose only one word, is communication. My job is to communicate your message, your services, the products that you have, okay, to the market that you're working for in the most effective way possible. If it does not communicate and it does not do that, then I have failed as a designer. I have failed. So when you're working with a graphic designer, the one thing you want to make sure that you're doing is you want to make sure that you're asking the designer questions. The other thing is, if you have a designer that does not ask you questions, a lot of questions, walk away. Be polite about it, but walk away. And the reason being is because if the designer's role is to communicate the information with you, to communicate effectively, okay, if you want to go into and market to a festival, okay, or market to a corporate client, they're both two totally different markets. So the way you market to a corporate client is going to be completely different than the way you market to a festival. That designer needs to know that. The designer also doesn't know you when he meets you, more or less, unless it's a friend, okay? So therefore, the designer needs to know as much about your business and what you do as you do. They need to become you. They need to understand you. They need to understand your services, your product offerings, what you do and who makes you different, and what makes you different in your market than anybody else. Because then they can take that information to be able to design something that, yes, will look good, but the key is to be able to market it effectively so that the person on the back end, the suspect or prospect, the person who's getting this, will be able to take action on that information, which is essentially what you need them to do. You send something out, they get excited about it, you want them to take action upon it, and then take them to a website, take them to the next step in the sales process. If, once again, how do you know a good designer? If they're asking you those questions and they're taking the time to ask them, you're working with somebody good. For magicians, there's another thing I'm going to add to this because it's very important, okay? There are some great designers out there, but you need a designer that speaks your language. You need a designer that understands that you're a magician, okay? I'll laugh because here's the thing. There's a lot of great designers out there, okay? But if you work with a designer, sometimes they may ask a lot of questions, but if they're not a magician, if they don't know magic, if you don't educate them on magic, here's what you're going to get, okay? And you guys will test this because everybody has seen this. You will get a white card that will have a logo that looks like a top hat with a rabbit sticking out of it, okay? You will. Or you'll have something that makes you look like a tuxedo shop, all right? Nothing wrong with that, but that is the truth. And it's not that they're being mean or anything, it's just that that is their notion of what magic means to them. So for me, I said if you're a magician and you're working with a graphic designer or looking for a graphic designer, find one that is willing to ask questions, that is willing to answer your questions, they're willing to ask the questions about you and about what you do. And also, it's helpful to find a magician. There's a lot of magicians out there that are really expert designers as well. James Schneider is another one. Good, you know, everybody knows he's within the BIMP Society group. So he's really great in there as well. Obviously myself, hey, there's a good one. There's also a guy, Michael Eaton, who's also a very good friend of mine. He's also very good, but he's a designer and a magician as well. If you can find a designer and a magician, you're going to do yourself a lot better. So I hope that answers that question in twofold on there. If I can, I'm going to do something I'm going to talk about, because some of these questions I had in there were brought up about a week and a half before we decided to do this. So I wrote these down, and I'm going to try to talk a little bit now about some of those that answers those. And one was a huge one that kept coming back, was all about business cards. So I thought that would be really cool. I'm going to take a timeout now for just a second, because I want you guys to realize something very cool. Tonight is a very important thing, very cool thing. Not only am I just trying to determine, to prove to myself that even though I'm deaf, that I can do a podcast looking at a screen where I really can't see anything, I can't hear anything. I'm trying to prove that. That is something I'm trying to do. But here's what's cool. I want to give back to magic what magic has given to me. Magic was my escape from feeling sorry for myself. I said if I ever got into magic and started doing magic, that I was going to give back in some way. Well, tonight that's going to happen. Every single one of you that is listening to this podcast right now, you are going to get and be the very first people that is going to get something very special. It is an ebook. It is 5005. There we go. 50 pages long. That is not with pictures. That is not 50 pages with 24-point type. That's large. No, that's 50 pages crammed with information. And it is every single part of it is about branding and marketing techniques. Okay? It is worth over $20 to $30 in value if I sold it. You guys are the first ones to see this. And here's the cool thing. I'm going to give it to every single one of you for absolutely for free. It's my way of saying thank you to you for tuning in. So you are all going to get it. So I'm going to ask Alex to figure out the best way, because he's going to get inundated, the best way to figure this out. So if it's okay, Alex, I'm going to need their email addresses in order to make sure at the end of the podcast that I send out the ebooks to each and every one of them.
I just posted on the Q&A my email address, so go ahead and email me if you are a live viewer. We need you to finish your emails by the end of the cast. We'll say 15 minutes after the end of the cast in case you're not fully with us.
Awesome.
And, at that point, we'll cut it off for the free ebooks. But email me, and we will get you your ebooks.
That's great. Anyway, so I wanted to give that to you guys. You guys are, like I said, the very first people to see this. So use it. Have fun with it. That's my gift to you. Do please make sure that you post your email on the place that Alex has said to mention to you, so that I can get them and so that I can send them out. Also, please stay tuned until the end of the podcast, because I'm also going to give a contest out. I'm going to give you guys about 3 or 4 people are going to get the chance to basically freely win. I'm a prolific writer. I've written over 4 books. I've written many, many ebooks. I've written over 350 articles. You guys are going to get, whoever wins, their free selection, whatever ebook you want, just as a way of saying thanks to you. All right, let's talk about business cards. Really, really cool. Okay, I'm going to show you 2 things. I'm hoping that this will actually show up on camera. I apologize if it doesn't. Bear with me just a second here. All right. I'm going to show you 2 different cards. Now, keep in mind, I'm showing you the cards. If you know the person, I know a lot of these guys in there. It is nothing personal against them if I say something good about them. If I say something bad about the card, it's just me talking about the card. Okay, so please don't take anything personal. If you know, there you go. Everybody see that? Everybody say that? Send your information. I guess they're supposed to send their email directly to that. Correct?
Right. Yes.
Okay, great. If you want the free ebook, make sure that you are sending your email to that email address. That way you get the free ebook. All right. So anyway, as I was saying is, I'm going to show you some cards. If you know the person in there, don't take it personally. I'm not trying to as well. It's just to show an example. All right. You got this card here. I'm going to show it up. Hopefully it will zoom in. Can everybody see that? All right. It looks like you can see it all right. Okay. It's white. It's boring. It's made out of really cheap paper. Okay. This looks like to me that it was actually probably printed on someone's, printer. It actually, on the corners of it, you can't really see it. It looks like it was perforated because every single corner has a perforation on it. So it looks like it was printed on someone's stationery. All right, that's this one. versus, versus say, this one here. Okay, it's a little bit of a thing. I'll tilt it so you guys can see it. Can you see that all right? It looks like you can. All right. Who would you rather hire? Okay, so something to think about. Because this brings up a really good point, especially when it comes to any marketing material as well as any type of branding material. The very first impression that you are giving to any prospect or person that is going to buy your services or make the decision to hire you is based upon the information that you're giving them. Now, this is what's interesting about this is simply this. People spend so much money on their props. They spend money on their clothing. They spend money on their show. They spend money on the backdrops. Okay, they want the show to look great, and that's awesome. Okay, but it's called show business for a reason. You got to have the show. You got to have the business. You got to have both of them. They don't work with only one without the other. Okay, very, very important reason why they called it show business. A show without business is going to falter. A business without a show is going to falter. Eventually, it just did. Keep in mind that the first impression you're making is what you're sending out. So, nothing personal. But if I'm competing with these two magicians and I'm the client, I'm going with this dude. I don't even know him. Actually, I do, but I'll say I'm the client. I don't know him, right? This just screams professional. Okay, I'm going to make a blanket statement that hopefully people will agree with is this. If you get paid any single money, if you get paid even $1 for any magic that you do, you are a professional and you need to act like one. That's just the way it is for me. Okay? You're a professional. And the reason being, sorry, I'm dropping stuff. The reason being is you're representing me, you're representing Alex, you're representing Laura, you're representing all the magicians out there that are working hard. Okay? So we need to do ourselves a favor and make sure that we spend just as much money and just as much time being professional with our show as we are with our marketing materials, because if this is the first thing that they see, this business card, I want it to scream pro. I do not want it to scream cheap. For lack of a better term, just cheap. All right, this is also a common one. Please do not do this, okay? If you do, I will hunt you down. No, I'm kidding. I'll have Alex hunt you down. If you see this in here, okay, if you read it in there, this is from an accordion guy. He's actually really good. He does a really good job. But he says this: how many times have you ever seen a card? Admit to yourself if you do, if you fall victim to this, that's okay. Magic for all occasions. Magic for all occasions, your tagline, magic for all occasions, right? Okay, my belief is this, and it's going to be a little harsh. Sorry. Magic, a magician for all occasions and a magician for no occasions. It's simply that. Find a niche. You can't do everything. If you try to do everything and you try to market to everything, you're going to be wasting a lot of time and a lot of money and a lot of effort. Okay? If I'm looking for a corporate magician, if you do corporate, you need to find out what you are good at. If you are a corporate magician, okay, you need to market yourself as a corporate magician. That is your niche market. You need to identify what that is. If you're a children's performer, that's your niche market. Don't put on your card magic for all occasions, okay? If you're a children's magician, I do family entertainment. That should be your thing. If you do corporate magic, that should be your niche. So you need to figure out who you are and identify who you are. With business cards or with any type of marketing material, one of the things that you're going to want to make sure that you do is what's called USP. USP, some people have actually heard about. USP is called Unique Selling Proposition, okay? It simply is this. It's actually someone else also asked a question saying, hey, what is the very first thing that I saw in there? Where is the very first thing that you need to do if you don't know anything about marketing whatsoever? And that's just it. If you don't know anything about marketing or you need to rearrange and rethink your marketing, the very first thing that you want to do is you want to create your USP. It's not easy, I will tell you. You've got to redo it and do it again, rewrite it, rewrite it, rewrite it, rewrite it. Your USP is simply this. It's what makes you unique to the world of people that you are marketing to your client and to your client base, okay? What makes you unique? Why should I go with you as opposed to John Smith over here doing magic? What is different between you and him? Okay? Your USP should be very specific. Should be very specific. It also should be only 2 sentences. Okay? That's tough. It took me 2 months to whittle mine down because when I first wrote it, mine was 5 pages long. Yeah, 5 pages. And then I sold it to a friend who was a professor, and he looked at it and went, "You got a lot of editing to do." I went, "Great." But it makes sense to take the time to do that. What in those 2 sentences are so that need to be able to say exactly who you are, what you do, the services that you offer, and what makes you unique from everybody else, okay? I will state my USP. I have no problem with that. But this took a long time. This sounds so simple. It sounds extremely simple, but believe it or not, this took me almost probably 5 months to come down with this, but this becomes the essence of my brand, which I'll talk about in a minute. This becomes the essence of it because everything that I do loops back into this. And that's simply like this. First thing I'll say is, this is not the USP, but I'm a very fortunate person. I have married my best friend, who is my soulmate. She is my partner on stage, and she is my partner off stage. She is also a magician, too. Hey, how cool is that? I get to do 98% of my shows with my wife, and that's really an awesome thing. So here's my USP. I'm a husband and wife team that specializes in magic and illusion shows for family-friendly events that makes your event fun and unforgettable, guaranteed. That's what it is. Simple as that. But within that little sentence or two, it says exactly who I am, what I do, what I'm all about, what makes me different, what makes me unique, and I'm not a magician for all occasions. I'm a magician that does family-friendly events. So it's saying that specifically that. What am I going to do? I'm going to make your event fun, I'm going to make it unforgettable, and I'm guaranteeing that it's going to happen. So once again, when you're working on your USP, think about to yourself from a consumer's perspective, what makes you unique? What makes you different? Don't use magic for all occasions. Think about what it is and what your niche market is. Okay, business cards. This is really cool. Okay, there's a difference between a business card and a calling card. Woo, freak out moment. So there is. There actually is 2 different forms of business cards. As I said, there's a calling card and there is a business card. I'm going to show you samples of both. I'm going to explain first what it means, okay? Calling card is simply this. A calling card, it dates back from way back in the days when the first business cards came out. The only reason for that was back and over in Europe, the calling cards were essential because in history, what they would do is simply if you meet somebody, you're going out for an elegant night out, you're wearing your tuxedo, you know, your wife or your spouse is wearing a gown, you show up with a thing, and it was formal for them to sit there and shake the other person's hand, and as they do, they hand them their calling card, which essentially is who you are, your name, what you do, okay, the business that you're in, and the contact information, okay, how to reach you. Okay, that's a calling card. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that at all. You can have a calling card. So then what's a business card then? Business card is slightly different. A business card is a calling card that allows a person to have action, to take action upon you, okay? It's doing business for you in some way. You are either directing the person with your business card to do something. So you're not only do they have your name, they know what you're doing, they have the information to contact you, okay? But they also, you're giving them to do something, to take action, and there's a bunch of different things that you can do with this, okay? I'm going to show you some examples, and I'm going to read some really cool ones for you. These are all things that I compiled, that I've tested and tried, that get people to keep your card, because what do you want them to do? You want them to keep your card, and you want them to contact you. That's what you want. A business card tends to try to do that a little bit better, all right? Here's some really cool ones. If you know, as a designer, it's really cool is I love other designers' work. So I collect business cards. I got tons of them. I pulled out ones that I thought was really cool, very visual, very interesting design, but also interesting for a reason because it does something. All right, take a look at this one. Everybody see that? Can you see it, or is it a little bit focused? Can I move it in a little bit better? All right. Yes. It basically looks like a hello, my name is sticker. All right? Very clever. What's kind of cool about this is when it talks to branding is his USP is that when he comes in there and his brand is that he is basically plays this nerdy magician. That things happen to him, he doesn't know how it happened, and in the end he ends up making it looking good and it works for him. So every single time when he's on stage, he has a hello, my name is Billy Diamond. And he has it right on his thing, every single outfit. it keeps falling off, and as a running gag in the show, it keeps reappearing by itself. So having a card that matches the brand in his show makes sense, right? Here's what's really cool about this one. He has his USP, part of his USP, actually on the card itself. How cool is that? It makes you different. What makes you unique? It says, hello, my name is Billy Diamond, certified crazy man. He is. Result entertainer. Ah, that's interesting. Okay, now it's not just a business card. This guy is funny. This guy can get me results. All right, here's a really cool thing. The back of it, remember I said USP? Woo, here's a cool thing, right? Put it on your card. Why not? You don't have to. On the back of his card, he actually has, if you can see it, I'll try to zoom in. I apologize if the focus and stuff is off, okay? That's his mission statement, or his USP. It tells people exactly what he is about and what he stands for, all right? That makes him unique. That gives them, at the end of it, it takes them to his website. So it's one idea. I'll put that one aside. I'll show you some other ones. This is really cool. There's probably a lot of you out there that understand and know about QR codes. If you don't, I'll explain it briefly. QR codes are really cool. When they first came out, people saw these little things all over the place and they had no idea what they were. Okay? A QR code looks like this. All right? Everybody see that? You've seen it all over the place. In fact, if those that are admitting to themselves right now will admit, I've seen it, but I don't know what the heck this is. That's okay. I'll tell you. QR codes were invented in such a way that what they do is when you scan it, it's free. You can get the apps on your phone. Very, very simple in there. Okay, you scan it in, and what it does, it redirects you to a website or to a source or wherever you want that QR code to redirect. All they have to do is take the app, scan the QR code, and it sends them immediately to a landing page or a website, whatever you want them to do. These are actually really cool.
Information in your phone. It embeds your contact information in your phone. You can actually have it add your contact card as well.
Absolutely. The other thing that's cool about it too is QR codes have gotten even more fancy in that you can have your branding within the QR code itself. So if you have a logo, you can actually put the logo within the QR code, if I'm saying it, within the center of it. So not only is it branded with your information, okay, it looks more official. Right, but when they scan it, it's still going to take them to a place that you want them to take them. All right, so I'll show you really cool things in there. Some people may know this is an old card from Robert Bax, Bobby Bax. Bobby Bax is a great comedy magician, so it has his information on the front. But what's really cool about it is he said, Robert Bax, a funny guy, that's part of his USP. It has his contact information on the front, calling card. On the back of it, he's got a QR code that allows people to sit there, they are curious about it. What does this do? I'm going to scan it. I'm going to find out. Basically, it takes them to part of his website that is very interactive, that engages them in a fun way. Okay? The other one is another way of using a QR code for your card. Once again, learning how to do a business-style card to allow people to take action upon what you're doing. All right? Al is a good friend of mine. He does a lot of comedy magic. Okay? On the front of this card, he has the standard stuff in there. But he says on it, see back of card for instant web access. All right, so he's kind of a call to action, so to speak, saying, hey, I want you guys to turn my card over and do something. Okay, that's what a call to action is. He's got the QR code right there that sends them right to his website, and he even put on there, use your cell phone's QR reader and check out the fun at aloandfriends.com. So he's giving you a reason. Ooh, I'm curious. What is all this fun about? Oh, I'm going to scan the thing. I'm going to find out for myself. He also put on the bottom of it for people that don't know what QR codes are. It's a very smart idea. Don't have a QR reader? Go to the App Store on your phone. It's 100% free. So he's kind of coaxing you along. The idea is, ever since he's done this, believe it or not, he has risen his amount of clicks or pay-through clicks to his website over 60% without the QR code. So it really does work. One way possibly about doing this. This is actually a really cool thing too. Okay, these are all different things that you can do that makes your card a business card. Another guy, some people might know him, Joseph White. He specializes mainly in balloon animals. He does a really, really amazing job with this. His card is really cool because he has on there, once again, it's not magician for all occasions, balloon artist for all occasions, balloon entertainer and artist. He put on there, balloon art and travel stories, responsible, reliable, reasonable. Okay, that's cool. That's part of his USP. So I know the person immediately is responsible, reliable, reasonable. That's part of the USP. I'm interested now. I got someone that's responsible, reliable, that may want to do it. On the back, here's really cool. He works, and some of you guys may want to do this. If you work as a close-up performer and you're working in certain areas, which he does, doing balloons, so he works in different restaurants. So what he did on the back of it is, how cool is this? He decided to put the places and the hours and where he's going to be on certain dates. It's just basically his calendar. Now I get the card and go, oh, you know what? I like what he did. Oh, he's going to be at a place near me? Oh, he's from this time to this time? Oh, that's cool. I'm going to go and I want to check it out. If I don't want to check it out, I'm going to give it to a friend. I'm going to want them to check it out. The other thing I'm going to finish with this, he says, come on down for a good time. And then he has a find us on Facebook link that allows you to be able to go to Facebook. All right? Did we have a question you want to sing? I thought you were...
Eric Apple was actually wondering, besides giving out your business cards when asked for, with a thank you, with like thank you notes or flyers, do you also ask for business cards from others so that you can reach out to them at a later date?
Oh, yes. Yes. Mind blown. Okay. Yes. Absolutely. Which is actually kind of cool that you said that, because that's where I was going. All right. What you just mentioned, yes, this is an awesome question. Excellent. Whoever asked it, awesome. Perfect question.
Go, Eric.
Absolutely. What you're talking about right now is the difference between what's called passive marketing and active style marketing. And there's a big difference. You need to do both of them. Okay? It'll make it sound like when I'm talking about it that active marketing is better. Okay? In some regards it is. But don't forget passive. You need passive formats. All right? Let me explain it. It's exactly what he just asked. All right? Passive marketing is giving out a business card. Passive marketing would be, say, by example, if there's some places that have bulletin boards in shopping malls, you can put your flyer up there with a little envelope that has your business card. Please take one. That's a passive format. Putting up a poster or a flyer someplace is a passive format. If you have a brochure and you work with a party entertainment store, said, hey, can I put my brochures and trifold brochures on your counter? That's a passive format. Why is it passive? It's passive because here's what's happening. You are giving your information out to the person, okay? And then you are hoping that person takes action upon what they're given. You lose control of the sales process. Okay, that's not necessarily a bad thing, so don't get me wrong. You do need passive formats. You need to do that. You need a good balance of both, okay? But you do lose that sales thing. You're hoping and praying that your marketing material is marketed well and written well enough that they're going to take action upon themselves, okay, to do something. But you don't have control over that after, hey, here's my card, you know, do something. I hope you call me, okay? All right. I'll give you an example in a minute, too, that will make this really, really easy for everyone, and it's all about business cards, too. This is cool. So what is an active style marketer? Very different. An active style marketer is what he just said, what the person just asked. Besides giving a person a business card, you ask for a business card in return. Very simple thing to do. A lot of people don't do that. They don't sit there and ask for one. It's a very easy thing to do, just to simply ask. So I'm going to work with, because I'm the only person I can see, all right, I'm going to work with Alex over here, all right? I'm going to make this as easy for people to understand the difference between passive and active style marketing for those that aren't aware of them and what the power is in an active style thing. In we're going to pretend, you and I, Alex, that we are networking at a Chamber of Commerce event, okay? I don't know what your business is. You don't know who I am. We're just hanging out, and it will go something like this. First, I'm going to show a passive format, what I might do at a passive format thing in there. Oh, hey, I see on your name badge, Alex. Hi, I'm Kyle. How are you?
Not too bad yourself?
Oh, great, great, great. Virtual handshake there. Excellent, awesome. By chance, what do you do? Could you tell me a little bit about your business?
Yeah, I cut wood for woodchucks. It's
nice.
Very profitable.
Nice. You collect wood. That's great. That's great. Awesome. Well, tell you what, I'm a magician, and I actually do events, a lot of different things in there. For corporate events, things like you, if you have any corporate style events, things that you might have in there, I love to be able to work with you, have the possibility of coming up with a solution for you. Tell you what, here's my business card. Please contact me if you have any questions. So you take the business card? Yes, there you go. That's passive. All right. Yes, you still want it. I'll shove it through. There we go. Okay. Hope everyone got that and understood that. That is a passive format. I'm introducing myself. I learn a little bit about him. That's only proper and polite. Make sure you always shake the person's hand. Big one. Ask them and tell them name and call them by name. It's also a big marketing thing. Sorry, I just went off gear here, but it's important. Come back. It's passive because I'm giving him his card. I'm giving him my card, rather, and he's taking it, and I'm hoping that he will contact me, as opposed to doing this. This is an active format, which is exactly what he said. It's perfect. And it's so simple, but a lot of people don't get it, and a lot of people don't do it. Start doing this. We're going to do it again, okay? Blah, blah, blah. We come in there. Oh, hi. Hi, Alex. I see you're in there. Can you tell me a little bit about what you do? What business are you in?
I burn old carpet.
You burn old carpets. That's nice. That's very interesting. Excellent. There's a good business for that for you? How's business these days?
It's great. High turnover, though.
High turnover? Yeah, Tafinder. Excellent. Well, tell you what, Tafinder, I'm a magician. I do a lot of different, yeah, that's just making me laugh. That's great. So, throw me off. That's great. You burn rugs. I'm a magician, and what I do is I actually do a lot of different events. I do a lot of corporate things. By chance, do you have, like, in your corporate thing, I'm sure that you have maybe banquets every year or, like, awards banquets? Oh, you do? Well, it's wonderful because I actually specialize in awards banquets. I can do an awards banquet thing for you, okay, that allows you, because I come completely self-contained, that allows you to be able to spend time with the people in there, do what you need to do. I go on, be able to entertain your people in there. I can also MC any of the events and stuff. If you want me to present the award, I could do that too. Just something to think about. Oh, and by the way, if you are interested, here's my business card, virtual handoff, okay? Oh, and by the way, would you have a business card that I might have? Could I have your business card? It'd be really great. Oh, thank you so much. I take his business card, all right? Okay, that's active style. Why is that active? Because now I just changed the game. I just changed it around a little bit. Now, I'm not waiting for him to contact me. I'm not waiting for him to take action upon something. It's not passive. All of a sudden, the active style thing is that now I have his card, okay? I can then take action. I remain, the biggest thing for active style marketing is that you remain in the sales process at all times. Okay, that's the key. That's really what it comes down to. When I give the card, I'm losing that sales process. I'm losing the lead. I can't do anything from that point on. As soon as I get his card back, now I'm back in the sales game. Because here's what you can do with this. This is really cool. This is one of many things, okay? Don't hound the person to death, okay? You don't want to spam the person. But whenever you are doing in marketing, one thing that you need to know, too, is the fact that you don't always have to hard sell, okay? You know all know what that means. You don't have to sit there and go, bam, 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 I want your business, okay? An amazing thing happens is when you build relationships. That's what part of marketing is. You need to build relationships with these people. So how cool would this be? And you guys can virtually answer this to yourselves. He just gave me his card. I just met him. I wait a day to 2 days. I then send him, okay, a personal thank you card that is handwritten. Don't put it in this computer thing in it because a handwritten one will give you a lot more business than anything else because it's more personal. Get out a thank you card, write a thing in there, say, Dear Alex, thanks so much. It was great meeting you at the networking event. I hope your business is doing really well. I know we had talked about award banquet. I hope your planning is going well for that. If I can be of any help to you, please let me know. All the very best, Kyle Peron, The Magical Illusion of Colin Kelly. Okay? Keep in mind it needs to be, your information still needs to be in there. You can include a business card in there if you want. Or digital printing these days and digital online printing is so cheap. It just really is because there's so many of them and they're fighting for your business, which is your advantage. Okay? You can get anything printed very economical. Okay? So you can actually get thank you cards that are custom designed and custom branded to you. Now, how cool is that if you received a thank you card in the mail, okay? Letters these days have kind of been non-existent. Everybody gets the email, 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 email. All of a sudden, I get a thank you letter inside my mail that gets personally sent to me, okay? How am I going to feel about that person? I'm going to feel, man, this guy's really cool. How cool is it that he took the time out of his time to sit there and send me something? Now, I'm in his interest again. Now I'm there for him, okay? Because the whole point in a lot of marketing is simply this, okay? You're not going to, I'm going to change gears a little bit here with an example. You're not going to buy a dishwasher unless you have a reason to buy a dishwasher, right? Okay. With magicians, you're not going to buy and go into the magician unless you have a reason for it, okay? So your whole point in marketing a lot of times is making sure you're hitting the decision maker at the right point in time, okay, and keeping your name fresh in their mind so when the decision comes up, they're looking at you. This is a great way of doing it. So that active style marketing is basically getting into a mindset yourself that says, I need to remain in the active format. I need to remain in that sales process the entire time. Another way you can do this is really cool. This is another example too. If you're at a sales event, or not a sales event, I'm sorry, a networking event for something, okay? Or you're doing back of room sales at, say, one of you have a theater show or whatever, you're doing back of room sales, or even if you are a close-up performer with the permission of the restaurant. Get a fishbowl. You've all seen it. Get a fishbowl, stick it in a thing with a little sign in back saying in there, offering a free magic set, a free show, whatever. Drop your business card in it for a chance to win, right? That's active style, because why? You're putting the cards in there, they're getting the cards, you're collecting them, and now you have a whole database of people to be able to market to. It's a very effective thing. Okay, so hopefully that answered that and explains it a little bit. Any other questions we have?
Yeah, Fred Rosenbaum wants to know, do you have different cards for different offerings, like, say, one for balloons, one for walk-around, one for after-dinner speeches, all that sort of stuff?
Okay, great question. You can handle that two different ways. The answer for me is yes. I do have different card stuff in there. The reason why I said you have two different ways is, one is you can have different cards for different events. For example, if I am a corporate performer, okay, but I'm also a family entertainer, and there are people out there that do that. I do it. I do corporate events. I also do family kids show events. My kids show card and my kids show marketing is going to be marketed to vastly different than a corporate performer, okay? If the corporate performer sees a caricature of me, okay, with my bald head, big nose, funny thing, looking weird, okay, which works for kids shows, they want to see that. That's silly bits of business. It's stuff that makes fun for kids, okay? The corporate performer is looking for something that, almost I showed it before. He is a corporate performer, so this is a perfect example. They're looking for something like this. You know, something clean, something professional, something that shows that this person is, you know, was wearing a suit, you know, something that says that is corporate. They'd expect it differently. So if you are working different events that are that drastic, then absolutely you need to have different cards for that and then market differently for it. The other way you can do it is this. I said there was two ways. That's one way, having different cards for different markets for different reasons. The other one is that sometimes people will do this, is where they will have an entertainment agency, okay, that they will make, and it's branded, okay, with under that entertainment agency falls the other things that you do. If you offer balloons and you're a balloon animal person, if you're a clown, if you're a magician and a juggler, if you are, it's awesome. You can choose to say, for example, I'm going to name KP Entertainment. You can have a card for that, specializing in the following services. And you can list those services in there. And that way, when you give them, okay, you're branding yourself as an entertainment agency. That's not a lie, because you essentially are, because you're doing all these things. You're giving them the card in there. You're giving them the thing. They then, but this is the key, they got to be able to go to a website that is an entertainment website that then has your different markets segmented. So they can click on your, you know, clowning one if they want. They can click on the family entertainment one they want, or they can click on, for example, the corporate entertainer one. And each of those areas will be branded and will look according to what they're supposed to look and give the client the information that they need. Great, great question. We got any more?
Yeah, Steve Krumer was wondering, actually, does like magically producing your business card for people?
Yes.
Is it also better, or was it? Does it help? Does it help magically producing, and
absolutely.
Also better
absolutely.
To have
one thing I will say is, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. You can answer that part first.
Okay.
There's a second part though.
Sure. Okay. The answer is yes, it does help. With the caveat of this, please, please do not jam a magic trick with your business card down somebody's throat that doesn't want to see it. Okay? That's just, to me, very rude. I don't go up to somebody and say, oh, hey, look, I'm going to show you a trick. It's weird. Okay? You're a professional. All right? There's a time and place to do it and a time and place when not to do it. If you are at an event, if you're at, like, for example, a corporate strolling entertainer, you're at a wedding, you're doing a cocktail hour, you're doing a cocktail hour at a corporate event banquet, I'm going to use that as an example, absolutely you can do that. Why not? Okay? Because the whole point in this is a business card is really essentially a lot of how do I put it without saying, okay, I'm just going to say it. It's kind of a card, okay? They get it and they're used to seeing business cards, okay? Hopefully a business card, rather than a calling card, will mean a little something to them, all right? What you're doing is with a trick is you don't want it drawn out, okay? You don't want to take a ton of their time, but you want to have fun with it. You want to have a good time with it. You can use your business card in a very cool way, and what happens with that is this. A very powerful thing for people in a show, and especially in marketing, is that one of the things that we all share around the world, I can be dropped in a place that I don't know the language, I don't know the culture, I don't know any of the stuff of who this person is across the table from me. But there's something that that person and I share in common, and that is emotions. Very cool, okay? So what you're doing with a magic trick is now all of a sudden you're creating a story, a memory with the card, okay, in a magical way. Now all of a sudden, this business card means something to them. Okay, and if you decide to freak them out, okay, go ahead. If you do, guarantee what is going to happen. They're going to go, oh my God, this was cool, this was amazing. Oh, dude, come over here, check this out. Look at this. This was written on the thing. He predicted it. It was right on my hands, and it changed. Oh my gosh, this was crazy. They're going to start sharing the story, and what are they doing? They're passing your business card around. All right? If you do it effectively, what ends up happening, and I'll show you a method that you can do. There's a couple different ones out there. What's cool about it is this. You do a magic trick with your business card, plain and simple. You hand it to them. This is a souvenir for you to remember the experience by. I always say that. Remember the experience by, because what you're selling experiences. Okay? Different than just a magic trick. You will see what happens is, if you're sincere, you'll give it to the person in there and pause. Do not walk away from the table yet. Smile, give it to the person, and look and make eye contact with everybody else. It works. It's a psychological thing. Very strange. They will start asking for business cards too. Oh, do you have a business card? Well, actually, yes, I do. Okay? I'll get back to this in a second, but I have to say something right now which is important before I forget. One thing that you should never, ever, 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 ever leave home without is you should always have business cards on you at all times. Always. If you are a pro, if you're a professional, if you are doing magic and making any money from it, you got to have business cards on you. Okay? Please do not have your business card wrapped in a rubber band. Okay, you can for a reason to fit in, but do not have them in your back pocket. Do not hand some a card that looked crinkled. Okay, that just looked really bad. Okay, that just looked really lame. You're a professional, so it does not cost a lot of money to do this because, lo and behold, I got one right here. I carry it with me all the time. You can see it. It's all it is a business card holder. This looks professional. This says professional. This says this guy means business. It protects my cards. I can swing this open, and hey, yes, by the way, I do have cards for you, and one for you, and one for you, and one for you. So yes, it actually does work. I'm going to explain a couple things that you guys probably already know, so I won't explain it. If you guys want to know it or know about it, see me afterwards. I'm always around. I can explain it to you. A lot of people know Out to Lunch. I'm assuming a lot of people know that. Okay. Out to Lunch is a really great one. It's a very easy one. And what's so cool about it is, once again, online digital printing is so cheap that you can have these custom made on the backs of your cards to do an Out to Lunch idea, concept. Very simple thing, very fast, very visual, happens in their hands. Wow, they're going to remember the thing experienced from. Okay? You can custom made them to anything. You can have it. I've seen some for kids show performers that they do it for kids. So what they do is they have a scene that makes it look like on the bottom of the card. It makes it look, I'm just going to show you a thing on the bottom of the card section here, makes it look like it has a cake, and on the top part it has balloons, but it's not decorated. It's no color. So you have the person write down, the kid write down their name. Oh, you have a birthday, which is also a great way of asking, oh, your birthday, when is your birthday? Oh, it's November 5th. Oh, great. November 5th. I might be able to mark it to the person, to the mom. So they write down their name and stuff in there. Well, you know what? Magic works really well. Magic is incredible. I think you have an awful lot of magic. Let me take this out and put it in your hand. Go like this. Can you believe? Can you think about magic? Look, you're really great. And you make them think the magic's happening. Because the magic happening to a child is a very important thing. It's a very lively thing. And the parents will love you for it. They then lift their hand up and watch that child's eyes light up when they realize that now the scene in the top section is now completely full of color. They're going to remember it, and they're going to call you for the next kids show event. All right. So how do you use that idea? Okay, there's a lot of ones in there. If you're a corporate performer, okay, or you do a close-up, a lot of different things you can do. If you're a mentalist, you can use it for prediction. Have the back of your card be blank if you want. Some people say in there, well, am I losing real estate with that? Okay. If that is true, then here's what you do, because this works really cool. And this, once again, goes back to the whole idea of the difference between a calling card and a business card, right? If you want to make your card professional and you want to have printing on the back of your card, but you still want to keep it open for doing a prediction style effect, right? Do this. This is really cool. Golden moment here. Secret. Have your back, have your information and stuff on it. Then put on the words, I'm going to paraphrase in here. Please see me. What is this white box for? Please see me for an amazing experience you will always remember. You're playing on curiosity. Okay, you give that card to somebody and all of a sudden they're going to sit there and go, what's this white box? Come on over here. What is this all about? Gets you over there, gets you doing something, and you have a white box area that allows you to be able to do a prediction effect on it. I'm going to show you, if I can, something really, really simple if I can. Is that okay? This is something that I do that is really easy. It is simple. Alex and I actually did this. I think I did it to you. I actually did this to you before, so you know where I'm going with it. So don't say anything. But it's fast, it's cool, and it's efficient. Almost every single magician has a smartphone on them. That's all you need. You can also do this with a borrowed phone. This is super cool. All right? I'm just going to show you basically how I would do this. I would approach a table that stuff in there, and I'd introduce myself. Said, hi, I'm Kyle Peron. I'm the host, Jen and Michael at their wedding. Wanted to make sure that you are having an amazing and awesome time at their wedding. Are you? Well, that's wonderful. Well, I'm here to make sure. Oh, he is. I'm here to make sure that you're having a great time. They wanted me to make sure with a little bit of entertainment. I'll tell you what we're going to do. I'm going to try something that I never really done before in there. It's a little bit of a mind reading thing in there, and I'm going to use several of them. Now, obviously, I only have Alex, so I'll let Alex answer all of them. I would have 4 different people ask 4 different questions. Folks, in order to do this, we're going to do something to write with. Oh, tell you what. I got a business card right back here. We're going to use one of these. Yes, I do that for a reason. It's a laugh, but it's also a thing in there because it brands me. Look, I'm posing with my card, right? No, the reason why I'm using this, folks, is because the back of the card is actually blank, all right? I'm going to use my business card to make a prediction. So what I need you to do, now keep in mind I'm doing this for 4 people around the table. I can move it for as many people as I want. I'm going to make a prediction. Person number 1, I need you to lean forward for me if you would. That'd be good. Lean forward. That's good. That's good. That's good. All right. That's a little creepy, but I got it. All right. Because I'm going to ask you guys a series of questions. Okay. The second person, sir, right over here. Tell you what we're going to do. I need you to look right in there, and that means straight in there. Clear all thoughts from your head. Yes, it didn't take long. Sorry, it's an old joke. Have to go there. All right, we got number 2. Okay, you got that right there. All right. Number 3, person number 3. This is person. Just look right at me if you would. Okay. Concentrate. All right, we got that. And the last person. Shh, folks. This is for you, okay? Remember, this is for you. Here's what you need to do. In order for me to read your mind, Alex, this is what I need you to do. I need you to lean forward. I need you to close one eye. I need you to put one hand over top of that eye. I need you to go, arr.
Arr.
Good. That had nothing to do with the trick at all. I just wanted to see if you'd act like a pirate. Thanks for cooperating. No, that's good. All right. I have my prediction right down here. I'm going to place it on my table. Unfortunately, it's going to be out of view. Sorry, you're going to have to trust the magician. I placed it on their table right in front of them. Right in front of them. Salt shaker on top, whatever I have so it can't move. All right? I then do this. Now keep in mind this goes at a faster pace than what I'm doing. Folks, I have a smartphone, and this is really cool. I don't understand why they gave me a smartphone because I'm not a very smart person. I figured I should have a mediocre phone. You know, I should have been in the line for the mediocre phones next to the dumb phone. But they gave me a smartphone, and it's really cool because this is an app that I have in here that's really amazing, and I'm going to show it to you because when you see what this app does, you guys are going to totally freak out. This guy right over here is going to lose all composure. He's going to totally freak out with this because this is an app. When you see what this does, you're going to go crazy. You're going to want to get this app because it's 100% free. All right. Are you ready for this? Call the calculator. See if I can hold that up. There we go. Ooh. Ah. Here's what we're going to do. I'm going to ask you guys a series of questions. Person number 1. Yes, Alex is making me crack up. Okay, person number 1. It's not polite for me to ask a lady her age, so I'm going to ask you your age. You can lie, you can tell the truth, it will not matter. But I'm going to show you every single thing I do, all the numbers that entered into this the calculator, that's all it is. What number would you like? How old are you?
26.
26. We're going to put 26 in there. I'm going to hold it up so the people can see that on there on the podcast it is 26. They'll show you the entire time. Okay, it's very clean. All right, 26. Next person over. Ma'am, you have a birthday. I'm certainly not going to ask your year of your birthday, but I will ask your month and your day. Okay? For example, I was born on November 5th. Mine would be 115. We're going to use it as a number. So what was the month and day as a number that we can put in here of your birthday?
May 13th.
8/13. Great. We'll just put this. 8 plus 8, 1, 3. There we go. All right. Good. It comes up as 8 one thing, and I put it in there differently, but it's a decimal point. You still see and get the idea. 813. All right? Okay. Next person over here. Here's what we're going to do. This is going to actually be kind of cool. Person number 3, how long and how many years have you been in your current job? How many? Current position?
10.
6. 6?
10.
You say 6?
10.
10. 10. Okay, great. 10. All right.
Ish.
We're going to multiply this by 10. You can see the number on there. We just said the regular number on there. This is where we're going to get a little freaky. The last person in there. Any of the license plates on any car that you have ever driven, any license plate, any car you have ever driven, I want the numbers of any number. It can be a single number, single digit, double digit, triple digit.
But the car outside is 476.
476. We're going to put 476 in there. All right. Here we are, 476. 4 people, 4 random numbers placed inside a calculator. All right. I then place this on the table. I tell them to do this. The only thing I could possibly have known before I came over to this table is maybe possibly your age, but I actually thought you were younger. I always do that. It makes the person feel better. All right. I thought you were personally younger. So I would have been wrong from the start, but there's no way I would have known any of your other information because we just met. Is that true? I don't want to touch this any longer. They hit the equal sign, and it comes up to this. All right, they read it out. I have them read it out for me. 2,494. Whoa, that's actually really cool. To keep this right by it, I said, you know what? Take the salt shaker off. Back to the business card again. Remember, you're doing a trick with your business card. You're selling an emotion, all right? Folks, I have to say this is a brand new trick that's in there, and I have to admit that some days this does not work. Some days this does not work. However, today's not one of those. 2494. The audience goes crazy. They love it. You hand out the card in there. This is for you as a souvenir. You pause. You look around at the table in there, and they will ask you for the card as they freak out and start bringing and calling people over. So yes, you can do that. Okay. I won't go into this a whole lot. If you want to know how this is done, it's based on an old-style principle of mentalism with a calculator called Toxic. That's how I learned how to do it. Sean Farquhar and I came up with an idea of how to do it with a borrowed phone. If you want to learn that, contact me, PM me. I will tell you how to do that. It's really cool because you literally can borrow a phone for the same thing. All right? Very quickly, Toxic allows you on a phone that does this. Watch, this is cool. All right, a lot of people don't realize this. See if I can show it. further up. There we go. If you turn the phone on some phones this way, it turns into a scientific calculator. You need to make sure you have a phone that can do that, all right, for the toxic way, okay? The whole principle is there, it's basically, obviously, it's a force. I'm being able to put a number into my phone and be able to save it in my phone. It looks innocent. People can hold on to it. People can put the number in it. They can do that themselves. They can do anything they want until they hit the equal sign. Once they hit the equal sign, the number that you have put in there previously comes up automatically. And what's great about it is you can change it. So as I go from table to table and going to the next table, I change the number. Why? Because I want them to show it to each other. And when they do, they realize the number is completely different, completely at random. So anyway, that is a way that you can, I'm going to put this back, that is a way that you can actually do magic, okay? That's powerful. That will get you memorized, okay? It will get people to understand who you are and give your card a little bit more oomph, a little bit more marketing ability. Sorry it took a little bit longer to do, but I didn't want to show that effect. Was there another part of that question?
1 second. I was just trying to send a message over to Jay because he's having issues trying to actually get this. Actually, you touched on the other part of it. The other part of it was also, is it better to have some sort of magic effect printed on the card for a perceived value? Will this person be more likely to keep it? You kind of already touched on
yeah, absolutely. For example, you can have something on your card. I said that that actually ends up having more value. That's kind of what we talked about for business cards. But what I want to read to you, I'm going to read this so I don't lose this and it'll go a little quicker. When I said business cards, I said what are things that you can do that you can put on your card, okay, that will change it into a business card. And these are 15 of these. Now these you can write down. You can go back to the YouTube video later if you want them. Also, I already put these all in the ebook. So if you guys are still around and you gave the email address to get the free ebook stuff in there, this is already written down and you don't have to take notes. But listen, cool, these are 15 things, 15 really quick things that you can do and put on your phone, on your card that will get you noticed. Okay, for example, easy to pay, credit cards accepted. Oh, that's interesting. Easy to get a hold of, request handled within 24 hours. Easy to get advice or info. Okay, use our simple information form. Okay, next one. Present or mention this card for a free magic trick. Number 5. Receive your first show at 25% off by requesting a promo kit. Number 6. Log on to KyleandKellyMagic.com for current discount coupons. Interesting. Number 7. Free upgrade to our deluxe package by mentioning the number on this card. Number 8. The back of the card can be a useful calendar. I already showed someone that actually did that. They use it as an actual calendar. But you can actually have a full calendar, which then allows them to use that every single day. So you can do that. Number 9. Survey redeemable for a free gift. Could direct them to a web page survey where they fill it out, they get a free gift or a discount. Number 10. Punch card for frequent clients. It acts as a referral reward system. If you refer something in there, you get the thing in there, punch stuff in there, you get so many, you get a free show. All right. Number 11, a fun optical illusion. We talked about this, magic trick, or a question where they can be directed to your website for more like it, okay, or for the answers that they want. 12, a calendar for an upcoming public performance. 13, a card could be a magnet to be used and seen on the fridge by the prospect. So it can be actually a fridge magnet. They're actually pretty cheap these days, so that's a possibility as well. Number 14 could have a listing of the most common measurements conversion charts. It sounds crazy, but anything that somebody might do, you can give them. It gives them a reason to hold on to the card for them to use. And number 15, there's more of them, a list of your top 5 tips for a successful event.
I just wanted to point something out. From my private business, because I help run an air conditioning business here in Arizona.
Sure.
Yes. I'll tell you what. Just business cards tend to go in a drawer, at least from a technician standpoint. But magnets, people love magnets. They don't even care what's on it. They'll put it up on your fridge. But if they call you once, you come out, you give them a good product. They will call you again, and they'll keep that bad boy up there.
And that gets back to, that's a really good point, because that gets back to the point that I made, is that you need to make sure, basically what you're doing when you're marketing is the decision maker, the person that is deciding whether or not you get hired or not, is only going to be decision maker when they have a need for you. It's not 24/7, 300, all days, all throughout the entire year. There's a time when they want you. So what's cool about a magnet, if you can give out a magnet, is the fact that they put it on their refrigerator. I just did it the other day. We ended up having plumbing problems. I haven't seen this. The magnet's been on the refrigerator for all year, for 2 years. All of a sudden I had plumbing issues, and this guy had a plumbing thing in there that had $30 off. What did I do? I went right there. I called him. It works. I got my $30 off, but I used him as opposed to anybody else, so it does work. One thing that you can really do that's really cool that a lot of people don't do is, I'm switching gears a little bit, but it's still answering this question. If you want a great way to be able to give out a magnet, okay, make a thank you kit, okay? When you do and you go to a party or to an event, when you are done and you're walking up to the client, okay, shake their hand, say how great it was, butter them up. It was amazing. We had a great time, stuff in there. Oh, and by the way, I have something for you. I have a thank you kit for you that has a letter in it. It's just our way of saying thanks to you. There's a little gift in there, a gift card. That is for you, as our way of saying thanks, okay? I also have an evaluation form in there, okay? This evaluation form you can fill out at your convenience and just return it back in a self-addressed stamped envelope. That allows us to help make sure that we're providing the same quality service for you as we do for all our clients. The reason why I do that, talk about this a little bit later, is I want their information. And it's worded in such a way that I get quotes from them. And then what I put in there, in the envelope of the self-addressed stamped envelope, is the magnet. It's right there. It's right inside. Now, here's the cool thing about that is, how many times have you ever received a thank you from the person who's providing service to you? Not often, right? And I get this all the time. The person literally jaw drops because they're like, oh my gosh, I'm receiving something cool from the person. And it's like, they're doing stuff in there and they're thanking me and they're giving me something special. Okay? Sometimes it's okay to spend a little bit of money. It doesn't cost you a lot, okay, as a gift to the person that you're doing it, because it's a way of saying thank you. A gift card doesn't cost you a whole heck of a lot for the amount of money and return on your investment that you're going to receive. They love that. How about this? Imagine this, if you are sitting there and someone came in there and a plumber came into your thing in there and all you wanted them to do was to fix your toilet, right? And at the end, he said he gave you a thank you thing in there, and then he gives you a gift and a gift card. I don't know about you, but I'm going to be like, wow, this guy's pretty cool. I really like this. I'm going to keep his information. This guy was really nice. This guy shows that you're being sincere, and it shows a step above, and it allows you to keep the information because you're going to want to. All right, did that answer that question a little bit about the magnets? Do we have any other questions?
And actually, something I wanted to show you guys is something I do for my other business.
Cool.
Thinking about doing for Magic. It just happens to be a little bit more expensive. I have these for our referrals. This is a coin, and it's actually metal. It's heavier than my the normal coins I use for the steel core coins I use for manipulation. It's a heck of a coin. It's actually a $50 off that I use for referrals. If you go to the website, you can order one of these for first-time customers, or if you refer a customer over, we send this out to you, and you can use it next time. And they even all have, if you can see that without it glaring, they're even individually numbered and stamped for, so I know which one's going where and where it's coming from and where it's going to. It can all be tracked. So. Tracking marketing.
That is really awesome. The one thing that we just are talking about is a referral reward system, and that's a really great marketing tool, because here's the thing that you need to think about. If you do a great show for a client, that client to me is a walking billboard for me, advertisement, or she's a walking advertisement for me. Okay, I don't have to sell them on anything if I did a good job for them. I've already marketed to them, and I already delivered on my product, on my solutions to the services that they wanted. I solved their need. So in their mind, I have met their needs. I have solved their problems with a great solution. I don't really have to sell too much to them other than stay in contact with them. Okay, go a little parallel off, and I'll come back stuff in there. Make sure you follow up with your repeat clients. Some people, you're losing business that way. Follow up with them. You don't have to hard sell to them because they already know what you've done. You've already proven yourself. But send them a thank you card. Send them a call. Send them an email. You know what I do sometimes? A lot of times, yeah, oh, they love it. They love it. And the thing key is to keep them, you fresh in their mind throughout the entire, what I call the marketing cycle throughout the year. What I do is this. Every single holiday, every single large major holiday in there, I send out cards or emails, depending upon the market, okay, that doesn't hard sell at all. It just simply says, like, happy holidays from the magical illusions of Colin Kelly, wishing you all the very, very best. And that's it. Now, it does have my website on it, but I'm not hard selling that. But the whole point is that I am staying in touch with them without a hard sell throughout the year so that they sit there in their mind when they get there, they might be, oh, you know what? Hey, we ought to contact him because we have something that we really need. So getting back to the repeat referral business, okay, referral reward system, which is a great marketing tactic. Once again, the people that you're performing for, okay, granted, you got to do a good job, if you do a good job for them and they really like what you do, they really are walking advertisement for you. If you let them alone and you don't do anything, you are losing business. So as Alex said, that was a great example, really, really cool idea. Have a referral reward thing and allow people to be able to refer things and then reward them for the referral. Now, here's two things that are important, okay? I reward them even if I do not book the gig, okay? It's important because I want them to encourage them to refer people to me, okay? Grant, they're getting a gift, okay? So for me, it's okay for me to spend a little bit of money, a little extra money, to give the person a reward because I know I'm going to get the return on investment tenfold if I do it right. If they refer something to me, they get a certain gift. It might be a little bit of a lesser value, but it's still a nice gift for them. If they end up booking the gig, they get something really nice. And I send it out to them. And I say thank you. Now, in my thank you kit that I give out to people, it explains the referral reward system right in it. And it has that information on it they're able to do. But I really like Alex's idea. So if you're not doing a referral reward system, I would suggest you try to do that because you're going to do yourself a really good favor because these people are going to be doing word of mouth for you. And they're going to be wanting to do it because they know that every time they do it, they're getting something that they can use. And the rewards do not have to be anything super fancy, okay? One of the greatest ones when gas prices were high, I did this. When gas prices got in my area, got around $4, okay, people kept griping about gas, right? So what did I do? It doesn't seem like a lot. I gave them gas cards. Man, did I ever get a great return on investment on that. Why? Because there's a need for it. I'm giving this person basically a free tank of gas. They love that. So think about something that a person can use. That is a great marketing tool. And don't forget your repeat client. Don't forget the people that you perform for. Is there any other questions that we have out there?
Looking through them right now, just trying to solve some technical issues for people watching. Also with the coin, something we did specifically, it's heavy, it's weighty, you can feel it, it's of substance. You could get like a postcard, but that's, it's paper, it can get wet, it can get hard, but like
Right.
that thing's heavy, so like it's something that they're not going to just throw in the trash.
Exactly.
You're going to want to keep it for something as a paperweight, so be creative with it.
Absolutely.
Is something that I was just kind of thinking the entire time.
And this kind of goes with this. This is a different way. This is actually a postcard. Jamal Keys, good friend of mine. He also does magic. But he's probably so funny. He goes, I do magic, but the thing I'm most famous for in magic is coming out of the microwave of death. You know that stuff in there. If you've ever seen the stuff in there, you know what I'm talking about. And then he does the little dance thing, and then he goes back in there, and you see me for like 2 minutes, and that's the thing I'm most famous for. But what people don't realize is that he's still in magic, but he's more famous for doing motivational speaking. I know him because with my deafness, I do an awful lot of motivational speaking, so we are in contact with each other. This is a really super cool idea, and I have permission because it's nothing new. He just put it in a method that worked really great for a marketing standpoint. If you want a way to get your material in the hands of the people at a stage show, this is so brilliant. Okay, if you can see this, I'm going to hold this up. I'm sorry for the glare, and if you can't see it, up in there, okay? It says Jamal Keys, so it acts as this kind of like a very large business card, okay? Has his information on it, and I'm going to read it to you. Basically, he has this on the seats in the theater, in the place that he does, or he has them being handed out, okay, by the people that are seating people. It says simply this: keep this card to participate in an interactive magical experience in Jamal Keys, the dancing motivator of magic, Broadway magic show. Hold on to your seats on this one. Jamal Keys, blah, 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 will give you a chance to pick a song that he performs on stage, a must-see. Now, Jamal's very good. He's a good dancer. So what he's basically doing is you in the audience are going to choose the song that I'm going to do a routine to. Obviously, it's a force, so he already knows what it's going to be, but they think they really have a legit thing. Now, here's the cool thing about it. It's a very simple thing. You've seen it done on a ton of different TV shows. There we go, hiding myself. You've seen on a ton of different TV shows, stuff in there. It's a very simple principle. A lot of you guys know the stuff in there. You're telling the person to, to go diagonally. You're eliminating certain things. You always end up on the one that you're supposed to end up on. But how cool is it to put it on a postcard, okay, that has it on the back? Once again, it's very nicely, professionally done. On this side, it advertises him, okay, it markets him effectively. They're going to keep this because every single person now has a reason to have this in the show. Every person has a reason to keep this, and when they experience the magic, this no longer becomes a postcard. This becomes a part of the magic that they experienced. Whoa, you're never going to believe this. Take a look at this. This is what happened. And they're going to hold on to it. So I wanted to show you this because this is just a really cool way of marketing yourself in a totally different way, in a totally different fashion. All right, any other questions? I got a couple other things I can show you guys.
We got a few coming in. Jay Hankey is finally with us. Hey, Jay. Glad to see you being able to speak with us. He asks, what's the best way to do an ad?
Okay.
If you haven't, to do just an ad, if you haven't done any really formal advertising.
Okay. The first thing I will say, unfortunately, as sad as it is advertising in phone books or in like Metro Kids type things and kid-based magazines. Sorry to say, it's really not worth your money. Your return on investment is not there. There are other methods of marketing that are going to be a better return on investment, ROI, for you. So I wouldn't put my... Go ahead.
I was going to say one thing I wanted to point out since we were already on the subject. By far, word of mouth, the best form of marketing. By far, 180 bajillion% the best. Because if you go out and somebody says, hey, I'm great, you should come to me, you're going to go, eh. But if your friend comes and be like, hey, dude, this guy right here, they're gonna go, oh, dude, this guy, let's go see the guy then, So that's by far doesn't matter because people know they're being marketed to. People are not stupid.
So getting back to the ad thing for a second in there is I don't really put advertisements in. Definitely phone books they're just gone. Don't even try to do that. Advertising in magazines, advertising in general in print. It's not a very good thing, with the exception of, there's a couple exceptions here. In programs at theaters, like in playbills, okay, or in, if you know, for example, that a school is having a production, okay, and that school has a target audience that you want to target for a very specific thing, then it makes sense for you to do an ad in their program guide. It really doesn't cost you much, but then it's called target marketing. I know that I'm getting my stuff in the hands of the people that I specifically need to get into. That will get you some business. Advertising, another thing, I won't talk too much about this because it's a whole different subject. I can talk hours on this, which maybe at another time I can do that. I can talk and do another podcast, and I can talk about other specific things like SEO, websites, that sort of stuff. AdWords, The other thing that you can do is you can advertise. If you're going to, you can advertise online. Online advertising is really where everything is going. And that's with Google AdWords. That's with either Facebook ads. Okay? It's basically called, for lack of a better term, PPC, which is pay-per-click. Okay? Advertising. That is effective if you do it right. But there's a lot involved in that. I just don't have time tonight to go over everything. But that's where I would put my emphasis on if I was actually advertising.
He does. He added on that. What about Craigslist?
What about pricing? Pricing in general. Okay.
Craigslist.
Oh, price list.
Craig.
Oh, price list.
Craigslist. Let me tell you.
Price list. Okay.
Craigslist,
Yes. My deafness.
I know.
I finally got it.
Stuff in the
Thank you. All right. Craigslist. Yeah, you got it. There you go. There you go. Okay. Craigslist. You can advertise on Craigslist, but be careful. Okay, on Craigslist, because you get. I'm just going to say it. You get some really crazy people, and just got to be careful. You can certainly do it. You can market yourself on Craigslist. Make sure, though, when someone contacts you, you're kind of what I call filtering them out. And how I do that is basically I give them information that they need to give back to me. Because if they're willing to get the information, if they're willing to fill out this information, I know that they're legit. Okay? Because it takes time for them to fill out the information I need to be able to give them a solution that works for them. So do that because, like I said, there's a lot of strange stuff on Craigslist up in there. You need to protect yourself. So that you certainly can do that. Once again, you need to advertise in such a way that you need to have a strong call to action when you have an ad in there. It can't just be, John Smith magician, great for parties in there. I hope you call me. I'm paraphrasing, obviously. You need to write it in such a way and this talks about something that's very important about marketing, okay? Features versus benefits. I'll be very short about this. A feature would be something like, let me say, my show is, I bring a sound system, okay? That's a feature. I bring a sound system. That's good, but in a marketing standpoint, that doesn't say enough. To me, that you need to have the benefit of that. How does that feature of having a sound system benefit the client that you're marketing to, the prospect? So you change it to this. I have a sound system that makes it easier for everyone in there to be able to hear easily, all right, and comes completely self-contained with my show, so you don't have anything you have to worry about. Now I changed it. Now I have a feature. I showed them the benefit of it. I have them go, oh, aha, that's a good thing. I can do that. So when you're working, you have the features, you have your benefits. Make sure you end it with a call to action. A call to action is simply literally asking the person to do something. Okay, a call to action can be very simple as go to my website, stuff in there. If you mention this ad that you see here, you will receive an immediate discount on your any show package.
Right.
You're giving them a reason to want to do it. You're giving them a reason to direct them to the next step in your process. So once again, Craigslist is a fine thing. Another thing I'll tell you that's really cool about that, and I almost forgot about it until you mentioned a question. So whoever asked it, cool. Kudos to you. Good. One of the cool things that you can do that's a great marketing tactic, okay, that people forget about is online calendars, online community calendars. It's not really an advertisement per se, okay. There is in certain areas where you can do. But here's the cool thing. When you have a show that is open to the public or stuff in there, you can go to the online community calendar and you can plug your show. Okay? It's great. It gets more people out there. Okay? But it always allows you to put, most of them allows you to put not only the show, the date, but allows you to put that URL on it. That's what you want. Because they can then see it and go, oh, I'm interested in this thing. I might go to the show, but maybe, I want them for my my birthday party. I'm going to click on it. And it's free. There's tons of them out there. All you really literally have to do is go to Google, type in whatever community that you're near, and put online community calendar, and they'll come up. You'll have to fill out a little form, but if you write one and you write it really well, I suggest that you write it ahead of time. Make sure that it's good. Make sure it has the right information. You cookie cutter, and you just spend a day and you post them on the different stuff. It's easy, it's free, it's a great way to sit there and market yourself in there. And what's really cool about it is, I won't go into so much detail about this. This is websites stuff. Forget SEO. SEO is a whole totally different subject. SEO stands for those that don't know. It stands for search engine optimization. It's the ability to be able to be highly ranked when someone types in a search term in Google. You want to be first page ranked, all right? The algorithm of Google is always changing. I know a lot about it, and the Panda algorithm had just come out, and it's changed everything drastically. The landscape of SEO is drastically changing. So I, even myself, am reworking and revamping, learning what Panda is all about. Because Google, and rightfully so, will never tell you what their algorithm is, and which is basically how does it rank your site when it goes out there and takes a look at your site. What is the formula it goes through to determine whether you get first page or last page? They change it. But one thing I do know that will never change is what's called backlinks. Backlinks are your URL on another website. The more of the importance that website has, the more the person is going to the website, the more traffic that website has. If it has your URL on it, the better the algorithm likes it. You will rank higher. So not only are you getting business by doing online community calendars and posting your stuff in free areas, you're getting backlinks as well. So it kind of helps in both regards. Great question. It's awesome. Anything else?
Yeah, Tommy Chiang asks, I would like to check with you on ethical standards of magicians and how they should market themselves on their awards. One on small local competitions. To continue, he says, should one magician market himself like the most awesome or charismatic magician?
Okay. That's a great question. I'm a strong believer in being honest. I really am. I don't think in marketing that you need to sit there and lie about it. I think that's just wrong. I think it's not necessary. If you got a lie, that's basically meaning that you're not working hard enough and your show is not as good. That's what it means to me, personally. I spend a lot of time making sure that my show for the markets I'm working for is the best that I can possibly give to that person. And I do it in such a way that I make it so that no one really can copy me. If they try to copy me, they're going to have a very hard time because my stuff is extremely unique. Everything I do in my show, this is not an ego thing, it's just something I'm very proud of. I'm a deaf entertainer, but I use music in my show. Wow, that's kind of weird. I can't hear people. I don't know what they're saying, but yet I bring people up on stage and I have routines with them, okay? So I use different things, and I have a deaf story that I use in there for anti-bullying programs, motivational speaking things in there. But my program in general is just different. It's very unique. Kelly and I will tell you, if you ever asked her, that I refuse to put anything in my show that is not a direct representation of who I am and who my wife is. In other words, meaning I do not buy, although you have the right to, what I call a routine in a box. Okay? Because that's where it is, where it's going right now. You can literally go out there and buy a thing that says this is the trick, but not only are you buying a trick, okay? You're buying a DVD that shows how it's done. You're buying a script that tells them what to say. You're having a DVD that shows you how to move, the jokes you're supposed to say. To me, how is that different than anything else? Okay? You're just becoming a cookie cutter of someone else. You really are. Okay? So for me, I don't do that. I come up and work with routines that are working for me, that make me unique. So getting back to that question, I don't need to lie. I can sit there and say I am one of the most unique, say something like, for example, a unique experience that you will never forget. I'm not lying. It is a unique experience and you will never forget it. And I tell them why they will never forget it. And I explain it to them. So if you're going to do it, spend the time making your show kick butt. Spend the time on making you the brand, because you are the brand. It's all about you. You're it. Spend time on making you unique, so that they're not looking, if they're sitting there and they walk away going, man, that card trick was really great, then you got work to do, right? It's a weird thing to say, but you do. Because they should be walking away remembering you, not the deck of cards, okay? They should be saying something in there like, oh, man, Alex did this Alex did this crazy card stuff with his cards, man. That was really awesome. There's a difference. You need them to remember you. Yes, just like that. So to answer that question is, to me, it's a little unethical. Is it wrong? No, technically it's not wrong. People do it all the time in marketing and advertising. It's done a lot. I just think you don't need to. If you're a really good performer, Okay, now granted, okay, leave the ego at home, please, please. There's enough to go around in magic already. Okay, leave the ego there. But if you're good at what you do and you concentrate on your show, you will know what is the selling points of your show. You will know what makes you better than someone else. And you use those terms in your advertising, in your marketing, and you don't have to lie about it. Now, if someone else is lying about it, if someone else is doing it, stuff in there, well, then you know what? There's not a whole lot you can do. I really don't think I would pressure the person. I would not go after the person on that unless they're stealing your material. Okay, and I say that because as a designer, I get my stuff still stolen all the time. I'm nice about it, but that's a whole different thing. I figured if I'd spend all the time stuff in there, then I'm wasting a lot of my time. I'm wasting a lot of my time that I don't need. So you know what? If the guy has to go that route, fine. Then he's very desperate. That's my feeling. I know that I can spend time in there because I'm working and I'm doing really good with what I'm doing and I'm doing marketing in an effective manner. I don't need that. I don't need to worry. I need to know about my competition. I don't need to worry about my competition. Totally different thing. So I hope that answered the question.
Right, no, I absolutely agree. I mean, you really don't have to market yourself any one way, period. Personally, I don't like to describe myself because part of what I do and say when I'm out walking is self-deprecation, just because I like calling myself a worthless piece of carny trash. Among other things, just because it fits really well with
Sure.
what I do and how I do it. So, I mean, and that kind of builds it as an out, but like what I do is I'll have like friends or whatnot. They'll sit down and watch like back a show I did and like, okay, throw out some descriptors, and we'll just kind of brainstorm through them and I'll let them pick them, and I kind of have somewhat, I get final say, I guess, but like for the most part I let other people do it because what do I know? Unfortunately I can see where the cards are going. It's not from my
Right.
I know what's going on.
But what you're saying too, Alex, is a really good point to bring up for the group. It can be done for marketing too, which is really cool. What I call a focus group. Okay, because here's what happens is we love our show so much, and we do our show so much. When it comes to the marketing part of it, we end up becoming blinded and put blinders on. We don't see it the way other people see it. We think one way, when in reality that may not be the case at all. We may try to market ourselves in one way when in reality that's not really the strong point of who I am. Okay? So what I end up doing is I do this same thing as you do. I keep in mind it's got to be people that you trust. It's got to be people that you trust to be honest, that are not partner friends going to kiss your butt. You don't need that. Okay? You need people that are going to be dead honest with you. Okay? And then you realize that you need to know that they may not say something that you want to hear. They may not be going, oh my gosh, you're the greatest magician ever. You want the truth. You want the truth. And what I ask them a lot of times is, okay, if you could describe my word in my show, this show that I'm working on for this market, in adjectives, what would those adjectives be? I ask that. If you could describe what do you think is the best part of that show? What makes it unique? What is about my personality when I'm on stage for this market that you think is strong? You're going to be amazed because you're actually, honestly, you'll probably get information that you never even thought about. You may think, oh man, I'm the funniest guy in the world. They think they're sitting there going, no, dude, you're not really funny. It's not coming across. They're not being mean, they're being honest, which is great because if you're trying to sell yourself as a funny guy and you're not really funny, you need to know that. But you need to know from lay people what your strong points are. Okay, and that's an important thing too. I try to make sure that I don't get magicians when I do this. Okay, I try to get lay people that are my friends. Okay, because those are the people I'm marketing to. Sit them down. I send them the information in there. Tell me what you think about this. I'm working on something in there. Give me your honest feedback, and they do. And that's really great because that gives you really gives you insight on how they see it, which is really probably going to be how the market and how the clients see it. So that's a great thing. Do we have any other questions I can answer for people?
Yeah. Let's see here. Can you address doing a few free shows for the references, for references for publicity's sake?
Yes. Free shows. Okay. The answer would be yes. Okay. You can do free shows. Just be careful when you do free shows, because it tends to be one free show lends to another free show, which lends to another free show, which lends to another free show, which ends up being that you're just doing nothing but free shows. So be careful with that. Also, I feel strongly, and the reason why I say that is because I do a lot of nonprofit events because of my deafness. I love giving back to stuff. I always said if I ever got over being afraid of being deaf, if I ever got over the embarrassment of it, I wanted to give back to other people, and to other kids and to other people that are either handicapped or less fortunate than I am, because it makes a difference. You will see, this is actually kind of cool. These are rubber bands I have on my wrist. I always carry them with me, always. The cool thing about these is these, believe it or not, are latex free. And the reason for that is because there's a ton of kids out there that have allergies to things, acute allergies. I want the ability to be able to perform for anybody, no matter who they are, no matter what they have, and I do, because it makes a difference in their life, okay? So that's a cool thing. So when you're working with a nonprofit organization, a free show, I would recommend you work with a nonprofit group first. Okay, that's where you really should be working for. A free show for someone that has money that can pay you basically is putting an assumption in their mind that all magicians will work for free. If they got a budget, which they do, they can pay you. They can afford to pay you. Do your free shows for nonprofits, and there's a ton of them out there, and they're dying for you to come in and help. However, every single person has something they can give back to you. It does not necessarily mean that it has to be money. Okay? Okay, very important. If you're doing a free show, the person can give you maybe advertising space in their program if they have a program guide. All right? They may be able to allow you to set up information if they're having a thing or a bazaar. Have a table. You get a table, you can put your information on there. You can do another table that has a BOR thing on there. Someone probably asked a really great question, huh?
Actually, Eric says, can we do this again? There's still so much more that can be covered, and I know we're running out of time.
That is true.
Absolutely true. We got 10 minutes left on the clock, and I need to be running.
I will end by doing a couple different things up in there. First of all, thank you guys. Thank you, because this to me is really special for me. It's something I've always wanted to do. I always wanted to give back. Anybody in there, make sure first, before you sign off, do not sign off yet, because I also got a contest for you guys. All right, so stay put. If you have not done so already, make sure that you send your email out to, do you still have that sign, Alex, that you can hold up?
Got it.
Make sure you send your email to this email address.
Woo!
There we go. Okay?
By the way, we already have 27 requests.
Oh, that's awesome. Because you guys will get the ebook, and I will send that out tonight. You will get the 50-page ebook for absolutely for free. That is for you, to use. That is my way of saying thanks to you, okay? So you guys will all get that. The next thing I'm going to do is we're going to have a little contest. Alex will have to figure out how we're going to do this legit, all right? I'm going to show you guys a couple things, okay? This is what, let me put these down here. I said I'm a prolific writer, which is kind of weird and bizarre for a person who's deaf who hated English, which I did. I really hated English because I couldn't hear it. I didn't know what the guy was saying, what the English teacher was saying, because he's facing the blackboard, so I was horrible at it. Now I write all the time. This is a really cool thing, so if you want information on this, what I'm about to tell you, send me a PM, because I don't know the URL off the top of my head, which is weird because I've been writing for them for 6 years. There is an e-zine that I write an article for every single month. That is called Magic New Zealand e-zine, Magic NZ e-zine. It is absolutely free, comes out every single week to your email inbox, okay? I write for it, I've written for it every single week, an article every single week for the past 6 years. As a person who's deaf who hates English, well, that's kind of a little weird thing. Long story short is I have over 360-something articles that I own the rights to. So what's cool about that is the fact that we're going to do something really cool. The website is being brought back up, so thanks to Alex and the other group that is actually working on that, especially Laura as well. What I'm going to do is Believe in Magic Place, I told these guys that I have the rights to all that information. All those articles are going to start, you're going to start seeing them on the blog. I'm going to give the BIP to the entire thing and the rights to all that. So that information is going to be out there for you guys. So once that site is back up there, please make sure you go to the website, read the blog, because there's going to be some killer information from some killer people. All right? So make sure you do that. All right. I've written a couple different things. 4 people, four, are going to be selected completely at random by Alex. So if you don't like it, it's all Alex's fault. All right. If you win, you get your choice of whatever ebook you want. All right. I'm going to show you the physical books that are in ebook format. That I'm going to be sending to you because it's easier. This one, if you can see it, it's a new one I just wrote that's called Festival Magic. It has everything that you need to know if you're an entertainer, no matter what you're doing, whether you are a balloon artist, whether you're a juggler, anyone. It does not matter what entertainment field you're in, okay? This is the Entertainer's Complete Guide to Working Festivals. I have everything in this. This thing is over 114 pages long, and it covers everything. I also even have scripts in here so that you don't even have to do anything. You just change my name for your name. Okay, it also has templates. If you need to cold call someone, it has a cold call template right in there. It tells you exactly how to do it step by step. So this is called Festival Magic. So that's one of them. The other one I wrote, which is the very first one of the first books I wrote, is called Blue and Gold. Okay, I'll show it to you there. That is all about how to work scouts and blue and golds in scout market, but not only how to do blue and golds, how to work scout markets all year round. And it tells you everything you need to know how to do that and more. So I do scout shows and scout programs every single year, and there's also some really cool ideas that if you're a close-up performer, you can still do scout shows. Yeah, whoa, wow, yeah, and it tells you how to do that. So that's Blue and Gold. The first one I ever did, it's still in ebook format. That's why it's in paper. This was not planned on being an ebook at all. I bought a chair suspension. For those that know me, they know that I'm a diehard with the chair suspension. I probably know more about the chair suspension illusion than any person out there, and that's not an ego thing. It's only because I do. I bought the chair suspension. I brought it home. I got a sheet of paper in there. I said, I can't wait to use it. And like everybody else, I can't wait to put that in my show tomorrow. Yeah, we all do that. Shouldn't, but we do. Now, keep in mind, you're getting a kid out of the audience or a person out of the audience, and you're putting them on a board with 2 chairs in there, and you're removing one of them, and the only thing it told you how to do was literally 2 paragraphs on a piece of paper that said, put two seats together, I'm paraphrasing, put the board on top, put kid on top, remove the chair, remove the board, miracle. I went, no way. There's no way that I'm putting a kid on this until I can do this carefully and safely. So what I did is I spent literally a year doing research on my own and also contacting people like Jim Sommers. Jim Sommers makes the Clam Magic model chair suspension. Contacting a lot of different people and my own test to write out what basically is a complete guide to working with the chair suspension illusion. If you ever thought about wanting to do it, or if you do it yourself, this guide really in ebook format is really cool for you because it gives you everything, all the safety tips, everything you need to make sure you do it correctly. So that's another one. And then the last one, for the person that wins, these are the ones you can choose from, is called Encore, Creativity in the Art of Magic. This is actually my full lecture. This is a lecture that I have done many different places. This is also not an ego thing, it's just a pride thing. Because one of my mentors, which a lot of people know, is Denny Haney. Denny is an amazing guy. He's helped me so much, and he was the one that took a deaf kid by his side and said, dude, stop feeling sorry for yourself, man. There's nothing really to be sorry for. You're deaf, who cares? You're not dead. That's Denny for you. But Denny was really good to me. Denny allowed me to do this creativity in magic lecture, and it's all about how to learn to be more creative with the magic you have, how to apply creative techniques to be more creative. I got to do this, which was really cool and an honor for me. I got to do this at Denny and Lee's shop. And there's some very big people that were sitting in the front row that basically, pardon French, scared the crap out of me. Okay, one of them, a lot of people know him, okay, Avi Schwarzman, okay? He was sitting in the front row, stuff in there, and when I turned around, and this thing was about a 2.5-hour lecture because they kept telling me to go on. I had more information to tell. As long as they wanted, I would. I was there, and Denny didn't care. He'd say, stay there as long as you want. Long story short is, I turned around. I wasn't used to this. I turned around, and the entire place was standing ovation at Denny's, my mentor's shop. And Denny was standing and everybody else, and it was really cool. But that, to me, is not an ego thing. It's just I'm really proud of that. This is something that you will not see very much often, but it has a lot of really great, powerful information. So anyway, the 4 people that win there get to choice whichever one they want. And so, Alex, if it's okay, I guess you can pick 4 people and then give me their email addresses. We'll tell them who won, and we will, or you can pick their name, that's fine, and they can give you the email address.
So what
And
we're
we
gonna
will
do,
let them choose whichever they want.
what we're gonna do is everybody who's listening
Okay?
is and has sent me an ebook request is already pre-entered. We will run the contest all the way till Wednesday morning my time because I am the one doing the drawing.
Cool.
I will collect all of the submissions.
Great.
Everybody who has not messaged in for the ebook, who is not present right now, go ahead and message me Encore to my email address that has been up 5
Do that again, just so
billion
you know. That way you can get the free
years
ebook.
ago.
There you
Woo,
go.
that's me, you just, it's stuff, I don't know. So go ahead and message Encore to me, and Wednesday around noon my time, and that is
Awesome.
Arizona time. Look
That
it
would
up.
be great. One last thing before we go, which I would be wrong if I didn't get a chance to say that, is also not only do I write the products and stuff in there, writer, but I am a graphic designer. I take graphic design very seriously. I'll end you with this, okay? How do I put this? I'm just going to say it, okay? Please don't design your own stuff. Unless you're a graphic designer, don't. You're doing yourself a disfavor, okay? And it's kind of an insult to us, those that are graphic designers, that is our living. That is what we do for a living. Just because you have graphic design software on your computer does not mean you're a graphic designer. Just because you own a wrench does not mean you're a pro mechanic. Just because you have a thermometer and can take your temperature does not mean you should be doing open heart surgery. You get the picture, all right? Unless you're Alex, in which case, he might be able to do that. I don't know. He's pretty skillful. Use and seek out graphic designers. That is what we do. If I'm not saying to come to me, if you want to, I would be extremely happy about that. My thing, once again, on Facebook is www.facebook.com/Peron Design. That's Peron Design. Okay? You can go there. You can check a lot of different things in there. I mainly handle print design. Also, you can check out James's stuff. James is also a really great designer. Michael Eaton is also a good designer. There's many of them out there. Once again, I'll end with saying thank you guys for helping me out. Thank you guys for chiming in. I had an awesome time. I hope you guys did as well. Stuff in there. I'm also a little bit in tears, because thank you guys for helping prove to me and helping prove to my family and everybody else that a deaf person can do a podcast by staring at a camera and not being able to read lips. So I don't know how well I did, but I think I did at least did a pretty good job of that.
Well, it's been suggested on the threads. I'm not sure how much you're actually watching it, but it's been suggested on the thread that we make this a weekly thing. So maybe we will do this a weekly talk between the two of us.
I would love to do that. Absolutely. If it's okay with Laura, it's okay with the group, I would absolutely do that because I got a ton more other information I'd love to share with you guys. And we can even talk about later on about very specific things. We can talk about, business cards. We can talk one thing about SEO, whatever you want. There's so much, as people have said, there's so much information out there that I can't possibly include all of it in one setting. So, yeah, I'd be happy to do that. That would be a great thing for me. So, once again, thank you guys so much. I really, really appreciate it. I had a blast doing this for you guys. Make sure, like you said, you get the information and the emails out to Alex so that I can give you guys the free ebooks, because I want to make sure we do that. And then also, not only everybody's going to get the free ebook, so that's for everybody, but then 4 people are going to have their selection of whatever 4 of the other books that they want. Now, keep in mind, if you don't win, and if you want one of the other books, you can also get those at, I forgot to tell you, the other website that I have for any of the products that I have is kpmagicproducts.com. kpmagicproduct.com. That has all my other stuff in there that you can get ebooks or you can get physical books if you like them. Once again, guys, thank you so much, man. You were awesome. I really, really appreciate each and every one of you. Bye-bye, guys.
Absolutely, guys. Thank you very much. I want to go ahead and thank one more time you, Kyle, for joining us and doing this, putting this all together. I know you've been working very hard on this over the last few weeks just to make sure that this goes off well, and you've been way informative. We really, I know we all really appreciate it. There's a resounding we appreciate this going off left and right on the forums right now. So thank you again. I want to thank Laura for go ahead and putting together all of this, even through all the trouble she's had recently. Thank you so much for being there and still making this what it is. And with that, that's going to be the end of our broadcast today. Any luck, you'll see us the same time next week for something similar.
All right.
Thank you guys very much, and have a great night.
All right, we'll see you guys later. All right, see you on. Bye-bye.